What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Tegridywood. If you're new to the channel, I'm starting up a firewood business from the ground up. Very little money, just some grit and gristle and some good old-fashioned elbow grease. Get this thing up and going. So if you're thinking about something like this, or you've been thinking about something like this, you're gonna want to stick around. You're gonna want to go back and watch some of my previous videos. It's been quite a journey just to even get to this point, but you can see here I got a pile of wood. That was 2 days worth of Facebook Marketplace free wood, hustling and loading and unloading and back-breaking work. So I got all this wood here. I've got quite a bit of wood from the trees that I've cut down. And we're gonna get to doing some splitting today. And we're gonna turn some of this mess into that, which I can sell. All right, I'll show you the wood pile here real quick. So here's what's going on. This is almost exclusively maple. There is a couple pieces of ash somewhere buried in there. Is honey locust. Big giant rounds. My splitter does go vertical. So those are gonna be a challenge. Those are giant. Fun to move. I'm here to tell you, I do not have equipment to move this stuff. So it was a good time. But some of this skinnier stuff like this, while it's a big old log, it's skinny. It's definitely too small to be anything I sell commercially. My wood will be, you know, give or take an inch. It'll be in that 16-inch mark, so that my measurements are good on what I'm selling. But that is rent money, is what that is. The gentleman who allows me to use this property for my wood yard is also willing to take wood for payment. So he heats with wood almost exclusively at his house. See that little guy right there? That's not good for me. There's a lot. All of this, that guy. Those are things I would have left at the people's house, but since he was interested, I am going to turn that into my rent for the business. So yeah, it's money, and it works out for me because I don't have a fireplace or a wood burning stove at my house, so I don't need it. So I'll explain to you. So we'll talk a little bit about what's going on, what my plan is for today anyways. So this is a hackberry log. I got it marked out. I'm just gonna come in and get this thing cut up and out of my life. And we're gonna buck up some of this. This is actually elm he's got a giant elm tree out in his front yard. That's just some of the branches from where he had tree work done. We'll get them cut the length and then split. This is mostly mulberry. So this is some of the trees that were growing up here along the building. So I'm gonna get that bucked up and split. I still have, well, I'll get this just because it's out here. I still have some maple trees down over here that came off of that giant stump in the corner, but I don't think I'm going to be getting to that today. I'm kind of out of room to throw wood. I mean, I can keep making the pile bigger, but I don't want this wood sitting. It's wet. You can see we got a bunch of rain. Actually ruined a 4-day canoe trip I had planned. So here I am in the wood yard working in the rain. Not that I'm bitter, but you can see it's wet. I just do not want to leave this stuff in here. I gotta tell you, the wood chipping is so miserable, like with that little Craftsman chipper, but it is nice to have this stuff around. And I think I'm gonna just take the time and the effort to turn all those tops and all that brush into chips, and I'll just bring the chipper and I'll just keep filling holes, because it's gonna be Mosquito Nation, and it is nice. It has been nice, and it'd be nice to put my wood on wood chips instead of mud. So unfortunately, this is what I had. So we got to get to working on this pile. I am feeling very, I don't know if anxious is the right word, but motivated to get it moving. So that's what we're gonna do. Also gonna clean up some of this stuff here. I just rolled over a big maple log, but yeah, and more of that elm. We'll get it bucked up, and we're gonna put the Huskee wood splitter to work today. So that's what we got going on. We're gonna get after it. Not much more time to jib jab about it. We just got to start getting things done. Let's go. Let's get it on. Time to split some wood. Well, we got a bit of a rain delay. Very frustrating. The rain is determined to ruin everything I got going on. Yeah, it's frustrating. So me and some buddies had a canoe trip planned, 4-day trip. I mentioned it earlier. But since we got a little bit of time, maybe we'll do a little storytelling. So for every decade in our life, we're now in the last year of our 40s. We have managed to take a trip on the Scioto River from Chillicothe, Ohio, down to Portsmouth to the Ohio River. Oh, I hadn't done it in, I don't even know, about 15 years actually now. So we started hatching this thing out, buying canoes, getting everything together for this trip last summer. Just to turn around and have it rain us out. And the forecast just changed, and it was going to be rainy going into it, but nice on the weekend. And then it was looking like it was going to rain on Saturday. So we were like, well, we can do it in 3 days. We'll go on Sunday, because Saturday was going to be a total washout. Oh, I need to go get my saw. I need to go get my saw out of the rain. All right, I'm back. But yeah, so we're like, oh, we can go. I found from the NOAA, for the state, for the federal government, but in the state I found where they had river meters on the real time, and get it about every 4 hours. And they had a forecast, and it said it was going to go from roughly 5 feet to about 6.5, 7 feet. I was like, 2 feet, we can do that. We can still find places to camp. Literally in about 4 or 5 hours, I checked back in on that thing, and it says a forecast of 15 feet by the end of Saturday night, or, well, no, it was the end of Sunday night, so it's now Monday. And, yeah, so we finally, in the last stages of Friday, decided to call it. Just have to rain check it. It was very disappointing. Very disappointing. So here I am, sitting in a chicken coop, waiting out the rain. Why? Because it hates me. That's why. The rain has no integrity whatsoever. End of rant. All right, one Subway sandwich later and a bit of a rain delay, and we're ready to go. Keep on splitting. It's gotten a little chilly. Gloves are wet. I'm tired. I ain't gonna lie. That was a lot of work. That's what I signed up for. I'm absolutely having a blast. It's kind of hard to tell, but like kind of specifically over here. We chewed into this pretty good. This was, I don't know why this is turned around here. This here was like a bigger hump than what it currently is. Yeah, I'll show you around. So yeah, so we wiped out. That was a full, that went up to that peak there. So we got that out of there. Got quite a bit of the stuff on the front side out of here. Still got plenty to do. I'm not gonna be bored. There's gonna be no sitting around doing nothing, that's for sure. And this is 2 days worth of hauls on Facebook Marketplace, so definitely need to work on my process here. And I mean, that's how it is. I was in manufacturing for years. It's how it goes. You start doing something, you get an idea, you just kind of make it work with what you got, and then find out the things you just can't possibly stand. Not having a table to set my logs on. That is definitely one of them. It is an absolute quagmire back here. I mean, it is juicy and wet and muddy everywhere. But, so this is kind of a mixed hardwood here. So I've got a mix of mulberry, elm. So the mulberry's the yellow stuff. Elm's gonna be the dark stuff. And then up top there is hackberry. That's all stuff growing on the property. So got that back side of that going. But on the other side, this is my maple pile. So that's starting to be a thing. I'm gonna have to go get some more skids. And then this is obviously, this is the hickory, and this is my land of shorts over here. I don't know why that's not focusing. Yeah, let's see here. This is specifically miserable. It's awful to stack all these little hunks and chunks. I did this for my rent for the, because I was like, well, it's just available wood. And if he's willing to burn shorter stuff in his stove, then what do I care? But to be honest, it's not worth it. It's so much more work dealing with that, trying to stack it. I'm thinking maybe some IBC totes. So yeah, I'm thinking some IBC totes. I don't have a way to move them around. I mean, they're not a functioning thing for me for my wood yard at this stage in the game. But if I could have a couple of them, I could do those little cookie bits over there. And if Scott doesn't want them, that's the landowner. If he's not interested in them, then my business partner in my other business, he's definitely interested in them. So, and he talked about getting his splitter out here and having a split off. So yeah, something to look forward to. But I think I'm definitely gonna have him help with that smaller stuff. It's just, I just don't want to be stacking it. It's just not worth my time. So things you learn. I kind of knew that, but I thought, well, it's a lot of wood because they got a lot of big bases of the tree that were cut. You know, they cut them thinner so they can move them. So anyhow, that's gonna be my day. So I do appreciate you guys joining along. If you like what you saw, hit that thumbs up button. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. And remember, no matter what you do or where you do it, always do integrity.